Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Major Mavericks flub could result in Heat's dream scenario. In what was a stunning pre-deadline move that shook up the NBA landscape, the Dallas Mavericks moved on from Udonis in exchange for an Anthony Davis-headlined return from the LA Lakers. Unsurprisingly, that polarizing decision from the Mavs front office has already blown up in their face. Dallas was coming off their first NBA Finals appearance since 2011, just one season ago, led by the superstar abilities of Udonis. Now they see themselves scraping by just to reach the NBA play-in. Their team-wide injury issues have not helped their case during the 2024-25 campaign. They have been dealt with several devastating injuries, most notably with Kyrie Irving's season-ending torn ACL and unfortunately from Davis. Although Davis has returned to the court recently, he was sidelined indefinitely by the time his Mavericks debut even ended. It's no secret that the talented big man is still in the prime of his career and one of the greatest two-way players in the entire association, when healthy. But with Dallas quickly seeing a vast decline from their finals run a year ago, their impulsive roster decisions may not be done. If they wanted to completely tear down this build, there is one player attractive enough to flip for assets to build their future. If the Mavs come to their realization that they embarrassingly lost that Udonis-Davis blockbuster, they could still have time to recoup pieces in a soft rebuild. The Miami Heat are a team that could have those pieces. Not only do the Heat have attractive young players and contracts to work salary-wise, but they now have some draft compensation to work with. They received a first-round pick from the Jimmy Butler deal and could opt to utilize future draft picks and pick swaps if the right deal came to the table. Some of those young, yet expendable players include Nikola Jovic, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Pelle Larsson, and Kel'el Ware. As promising as the Bam Adebayo-Ware frontcourt duo has looked early on, Davis and Adebayo could be that much more lethal right away. Heat fans got a preview of the hybrid big man pairing at last summer's Olympics. Those two anchored Team USA's best lineups and helped fuel their gold medal run. As difficult as it could be to pull the plug on Ware early, acquiring a win-now superstar like Davis would not only be justifiable, but it could also create a true contender in South Beach. The Miami Heat blew out the Washington Wizards, 120-94, Monday night at Capital One Arena. Here are 3 observations. 1. Tyler Herro's gravity. Herro has been one of the league's best three-point shooters this season. Only 5 players have made more threes than Herro, whose shooting fueled his first All-Star nod. Opponents have taken notice. Since the All-Star break, teams have put their top perimeter defender on Herro to try to chase him off the line. Herro has countered by getting to the paint more. Coach Erik Spoelstra has praised his work off the ball. By learning how to use his newfound gravity, Herro can make a dramatic difference for his teammates. Here, we see how Herro's presence above the three-point line jumbles Washington's decision-making. Pelle Larsson goes to set a down screen and Herro relocates to the top of the arc. Both Wizards defenders lunge at Herro, and Larsson makes a timely cut to the rim. Herro, without touching the ball, helped Larsson get a wide-open dunk. 2. Pelle Larsson's cutting clinic. All 7 of Larsson's made shots were within the restricted area. He's making it easy on himself. What has become clear these last couple of games is that Larsson is already an elite cutter. His timing is impeccable, and he makes himself available for passes and dump-offs. 3. Bam and Tyler's two-man game. As the Heat march into a new era, the two-man game between Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro will be even more important. They have decent chemistry already, but sometimes it can be a bit mechanical. Handoff here, rescreen there. Report: Goran Dragic expected to be a part of the Heat organization next season. When folks think back to Goran Dragic's long and successful NBA career, his stint with the Miami Heat might be the first thing that comes to mind. Dragic spent more time with Miami than any other team in the league, as he suited up in 391 regular season games with the franchise. Additionally, his only All-Star nod of his career came during his stint with the Heat. He earned a selection in the 2017-18 campaign and averaged 17.3 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game across 75 contests, all starts, that season. Years removed from Dragic's Heat tenure, it seems that he will soon rejoin the Heat organization. Specifically, the expectation is that he'll be with Miami next season. I know it's an easy comparison to make here, but I saw some Dragic in him, Heat insider Ethan Skolnick said of Pelle Larsson. And we talked to him about that, and he talked about how Goran had basically greeted him, went to one of his games. And obviously, Goran's been around the organization a lot lately, and I expect him to be part of the organization next year. I think that's the way that this is trending. And also, I talked to Goran last year, and he said he wanted 1 year to kind of get his life where he wanted it, and then probably want to be with the Heat organization. You see him everywhere now, he's doing community events and all that. Dragic was dealt from the Phoenix Suns to the Heat back in February of 2015. In order to acquire the Slovenian native, Miami parted ways with 4 players and a pair of draft picks. The 38-year-old had a penchant for upping his game from a scoring standpoint for Miami when the playoffs rolled around, not unlike what Jimmy Butler did during his time with the Heat. Dragic averaged 17.8 points per game for his playoff career with the Heat and was arguably Miami's second-best offensive player behind Butler in the team's run to the NBA Finals in 2020. He averaged the second most points per game of any player on the team across 17 games played in the 2020 NBA playoffs at 19.1. He did that on solid efficiency, as he shot 44.4% from the field and 34.6% from three-point range. The Heat lost to the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games in that year's championship series, but perhaps the final outcome would have been different if Miami had a healthy Dragic for the entirety of the best-of-7 series. Dragic played in only 2 of the 6 games in the series and averaged just 17 minutes of playing time with the lights at their brightest. After Dragic enjoyed such a successful and memorable career in Miami, fans of the Heat should be excited by the report that he will make his return to the franchise in the near future. Udonis Haslem destroyed locker room after blunder by Erik Spoelstra in 2011 finals. Udonis Haslem is one of the most beloved players in Miami Heat history. He is also one of the most confrontational because he always speaks his mind. That was the case when the Heat lost to the Dallas Mavericks in Game 2 of the 2011 NBA Finals. The Heat, led by LeBron James, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, were on the verge of taking a 2-0 lead in the series. A timeout was called with the score tied at 93 when Haslem was stunned by coach Erik Spoelstra's strategy. "We was in the huddle," Haslem said during a podcast appearance. "We had the matchups and right before we walked out of the huddle, SPO switched the matchup and said, CB, Bosh, you take Dirk." Haslem, who defended Nowitzki well when the teams met in the 2006 finals, had no say in the matter. "We ain't got time to go back and forth," Haslem said. "We got to get back out. You know, a timeout, you got to get back out there, so I'm mad as bleep. I'm steaming because I want that stop at the end." Nowitzki got past Bosh with ease on the perimeter before scoring the winning layup with 3.6 seconds left. It became the turning point of the series, with the Mavericks winning the next 3 games to complete the upset. "I tore the locker room up," Haslem said. "I told SPO, listen, that's my job." And you, fan? What do you think about Udonis Haslem's situation? Write to us in the comments.